So here's how I'm able to show you how you can make your trip look way more fancy and way more baller than it is. So right now we're at a private pool here at the Four Seasons. You can see right there on the left, there's a bar. And then there's the ocean right there in the distance. And am I staying at this place? No. How do we get in here? I'm gonna explain to you here in just a second on how we are able to make this look way more upscale and fancy of a trip than it actually is. And if I turn, you can see here, here's all the units. We came in through the main entrance, which we can show you later, which is super baller. But if you just go on YouTube and go on Google and look up the Four Seasons in Kona, you'll see exactly where I am for the day, even though I can make it look like I stayed here for my whole trip. So today we want to talk to you about I call them the three big reasons why people fail financially, and it's housing, transportation, and food. And today we're going to show it to you from a little bit different perspective because I'm on vacation. And so what I wanted to show you was how you can make something look way more upscale, way more fancy, baller than it really is. And so today I'm at the Four Seasons. I'll show you a little video of where we are. We'll walk around, we'll take some clips. But if you want to just Google the Four Seasons in Kona, you can see exactly what we're talking about. But what I want to show you is this. I'm on vacation this week, and how we got to Kona in the first place was this. I'm going to give you a little story. Was that one, my girlfriend who lives in Yakima, Washington, sold a house to some clients of hers. And because she did, they have a place about 15 minutes up the road here in Kona that they allowed her to use for free. And it's a perfectly nice place. It's a little gated community. We're in a little small 2-bedroom condo. It's got a little pool area on the end, but it is nowhere near as nice as what we're going to show you today here at the Four Seasons. And so because of that, we're actually able to stay there for free. So housing on this one, lodging, free, even though we could never say that and make it look like we're doing way more than we are. The second thing is transportation. We just rented a little Nissan Sentra for the week, but I could literally go out in the parking lot right now and take some video next to some real fancy car to make it look like we rented some sort of real fancy rig for the week. And then thirdly, food-wise, now we've eaten out and done some things, but you can actually go stand in front of some nice restaurants. You could eat one nice fancy meal in one nice fancy place and make it act like you did that for the whole week. And here is, like I said, where one of the big reasons why people fail financially. And I'm always talking about financial freedom. So we're going to stop on this channel. We're not going to talk anymore about retirement or getting wealthy or getting rich. What we want to get to is a position of financial freedom. And what that means is that eventually your investments, your assets are paying you more money every month than what your expenses are to live. Now, in the short term, if you have a job, which I still have and I still want to have, but if you have a career and a job that is paying you 20, 30, 50% more than your overhead, what it does is it allows you a really good sense of financial freedom, even if it means you still have to work. So what it does mean is if there's a client I don't want to work with or a person I don't want to deal with, I don't have to. And that's the whole point of this channel, the whole point of talking about financial freedom. And again, as I started on this journey trying to help, especially young guys talking about money and finance, the biggest thing that you see over and over and over is people being fake rich. They show all these things, act like they did something special. And in reality, I was able to come to Kona for a week on a place to stay for free. I travel a lot on Alaska Airlines. So we were able to use a companion fare. So the two of us literally flew round trip from Seattle to Kona for $600 and something. And then literally we rented a car for another $400. So we were able to actually stay here for around $1,100 for the week. We did have to pay about $180 resort fee at the place that we're staying. So we have access to the pool and the clubhouse and the gym and all that kind of good stuff. But really we were able to be here for a week for $1,300 minus whatever we spend for excursions and fun and all that kind of stuff. So you can make it look a whole lot more fancy than it really is. And it's really easy to do. And so what do I mention about housing, transportation, and food? Because those are typically the biggest three things that screw up everybody's budget, whether it's just your normal everyday living or whether it is your actual, planning a trip and going on vacation. And for us, we were able to do it, like I said, on a relatively inexpensive version, even though we can make it look however we want. So I'm going to walk you around this complex a little bit here today as we move around and show you some of the things that make it look like however we want to look for you guys. Not that anybody should care about what my trip or my vacation looks like. So when you're thinking about transportation, housing, and food, whether you're living somewhere or whether you're traveling for vacation, that's what'll really screw up your budget. So think about those things, and I'm going to show you how I can make it look a lot more fancy and baller than it actually is. So with that being said, here's some shots and some things about the resort that we're staying at. And then you can let us know your thoughts and opinions on, when you take vacation, how you're able to, what I call ball on a budget, make it so that you're being smart, but at the same time being able to enjoy your trips and those kind of things. So again, it's part of social media. The part that I love is that I'm able to try to bring you some good information on being smart about these things, but at the same time, you can make it look like you're spending and doing a hell of a lot more than you actually are. So let's take a look around and we'll see what you think. So this right here is me. I'm standing actually on the beach. So if I pan this direction, you'll see we are literally that close to the ocean. It is right here, and we are on a resort beach at the Four Seasons. So there's literally nobody on this beach. And as I keep panning to my left, you will see a private pool for adults only. There's a swim up bar. Here's some of the units that you can stay in with the palm trees and the gorgeous weather. And as then we palm down this way, you can see there's another pool. You can see the umbrellas, they're not out yet. But there's another pool. The main lobby and all that is over on that direction. And it just makes it look like we stayed here all week. And in reality, the place that we're staying at, we're not this close to the water. We're not this close to the ocean. But I can sure as hell make it look as fancy and as baller as we would like. So if you look over my shoulder right now, this is the family pool. There's really not a whole lot of family out because I'm recording early in the day, trying to do it before all the people come out. But literally this was about a 2-minute walk from the pool that I was at before. And so this is the pool that's right off the ocean. And as I turn around, right, and you look this way behind me, we are literally that close to the ocean. And this is what I'm talking about. This is a trip for me that's going to cost me about $1,200 plus whatever expenses we have here. So even if I spend another $1,200, I can come to Hawaii for a week for $2,500, get back and forth to home, and make it look like we were balling out. You should see the cars in the parking lot here. It's freaking off the chain. And I know we were at one other resort earlier this week where we got to have access to the pool like this. And it was roughly $1,500 a night to stay here. So just because people can make it look like they have a lot of money or make it look like they're doing something fancy, a lot of times they're really not. So just know when we're out here doing this kind of thing and recording with the ocean right here, it's all about doing what you want to do. And again, that's what we're always talking about on this channel is how do you get financially free and not worry about somebody else and what they're doing. So when you are planning your vacation, and again, the biggest three things are those airplane tickets to get where you want to go, the transportation once you are there, and figuring out the food situation. I know my brother and his wife and kids come here every year to Hawaii. They rent a condo and they cook all their meals in so they can enjoy all the fun. And of course, with little kids, it's pools and the beach. And they're not doing a lot of excursions, but on this trip, we did 2 excursions. We went manta ray night diving. We took 1 sunset cruise. We were able to do those things. It really wasn't too expensive. I think each one was about $300 to go and do. We did eat breakfast in our rooms, but we had a lot of the lunches. And a lot of times what we like to do is eat a little bit of a late lunch. So it's sort of a lunch/dinner, and then maybe we get a snack later in the evening. So there's ways to make this very affordable and not kill your budgets when you're doing these things. But again, these are things down the line when you're trying to be smart about your budgets and your vacations that, you got to have a lot of the other things done first. And we talk a lot about this on this channel, about winning at the game of money and finance and trying to become financially free. And we're doing that. These are the kind of things that happen a little bit later in life. I was lucky that my dad was able to take me to Hawaii. So I've been here probably 10 times in my life, because when you live on the West Coast, it's not a real expensive flight to get here. And I've been to all the different islands and that kind of stuff. So just know, don't be confused by what people are doing on there. So vacation budgets, knock out those big 3 expenses, make sure they're covered. And then what I like to do the rest of my trip, what I've done is I brought cash. And I've spent cash as every single time possible so that I'm not overspending my budget on my trip. My girlfriend's laughing at me because I basically put some cash in her pocket and her hands too, so we can spend that money and not use our credit cards or do other things that would cause you to get yourself in a wonky financial situation. It's not about that. But at the same time, don't think just because I'm able to come and do this, that puts me in some financial situation that is way better than a lot of other people. All right, so I'm going to show you again how close we are to the golf course. So I literally just turn around the pool, We're going to walk up this walkway. So if you are staying here and you're a golfer and you want to play, do all those kind of things, I'm probably going to hear some lawnmowers and stuff here in a minute. But the whole point is I'm trying to show you how you can make it look versus what it actually is. So 2 25-second walks. We're going to make a hard right. And there, my friends, is the golf course. So these are the kind of things, like I said, I can act like, hey, I played golf here yesterday, or I can make it look like I spent the money to do something that I didn't do. There they are mowing the grass to get the course ready. The course goes that way. And as you know, if I turn back around, and there's a million units here, you can be restrooms, ice machines, all that kind of good stuff. You can be right back by the pool. So what is the point of all of this, to show you guys all this stuff? Well, the point is we're trying to get to a position of financial freedom. At least I think that's what we're trying to help everybody get to. And because of that, I want people to be able to see how or what kind of things you could or can be doing. And you can do them a lot of different ways and make people think that you're doing something different. Sorry, as I look down, I'm walking down some stairs. I don't want to fall. But you can make things look a whole lot different than they are. And if the goal is to get the stress of earning money, saving money, having bad debts, doing all those things that cause people to literally stress out and worry a lot about money and finance, then that's what we're trying to do. Subscribe to this channel, because what I want to do is help you figure out how to win at this game of money and finance. I want you to learn how to do all the things necessary so that over the long term, you can win at this game. So today was really just about showing you the difference in how people make things look. See, look at these places versus what really happens out there. And again, there are people here, I'm sure, that can afford this, that are perfectly wealthy, that stay here. And in their budget, it's no big deal. And could I stay here for a few nights? Sure. Do I prefer to spend that kind of money on a place when I could stay somewhere else for a whole lot less, save up some extra money for my future, and then over time, put myself in a position where then I can come here and won't even think twice about it? Absolutely. So if you have questions about any of this, and really the point is, don't compare yourself to what other people are doing. Just worry about what you're doing. And this is one of the biggest pitfalls. I talk to a bunch of 20-year-olds all the time. And really what they worry about is things that are beyond their control, things that other people are doing that they just don't need to worry about. Just you do you, live in your lane, and get yourself to a position that makes you live the life that you want to live. So hopefully that's helpful. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to talk about all the kind of nuts and bolts and how-to things on how to do all this stuff to get yourself to this position. But for today, I just wanted to show you how you can make things look versus what actually is going on out there. So hopefully that helps. So the point of today's video is this: don't compare what you're doing in your financial situation to anybody else's. The whole point is trying to figure out how to get yourself to live the lifestyle, the dream, whatever it is that you want to live, and not worry about what anyone else is doing, because I can make it look however I want to. And you can see from just being at this resort, whether it is where I stay or what I drive or what fun I have or whatever it is that I do, I can make it look one way, even though it was actually a different way. And I really, at the end of the day, who are you trying to impress? Nobody. So the whole reason I do this channel, the whole reason I do this for you guys, is trying to figure out how to help you get to whatever your definition is and what you want your life to look like. And we're going to talk about that in another video right now, because while I'm sitting here at the beach enjoying my vacation right now, I really, really want to be able to help you, your friends, you guys specifically understand what to dream about. I've met so many of you that can't even dream big enough of what they want. We're going to talk about that here next. But today, don't play the comparison game. Get those 3 big expenses figured out, and enjoy your life, and don't worry about what anyone else thinks. It really doesn't matter.